Welcome to the Tiny Talk number 9,
Hello.
where the roles are reversed.
Eesh.
We he did a interview with me on number 6,
Mm-hmm.
and while we were doing it, I was like, "Well, who's going to interview you?"
Yeah.
And so we had already had this planned prior to New Year's, right?
Mm-hmm. Because you asked what my favorite number was, and I said 9.
Yeah.
But I had a whole different reason why than you, or why you thought this was special that
Oh, that's
you'd be
hilarious.
doing 6 and I'd be doing 9.
Well,
Hardy
because
hard
it's
hard hard.
369.
Okay. Yeah. Now you know about it, right?
Yeah, but we know my brain sometimes,
Uh-huh.
yes.
We know.
So, I mean, this is a hard act to follow. I just listened to the Blue Line, and
Mm.
Carlos, you do an amazing job at
Ugh.
interviewing.
Yeah.
And
With my stutter and everything. Thank you.
well, I mean, you ask. I'm not used to this. Don't even know how this is going to go, but I am natural at having genuine conversations. So that's
Yeah,
what
you
I'm
are.
going to do. So I'm going to have genuine conversations, and a lot of us don't really get to hear, Carlos's story
Mm.
and why he does what he does, and I'm always giving back. So to me, it's like it's a no-brainer to want to do this for you. So I'm glad we're doing that. Um, so I think we're going to start with getting the elephant out of the room, so that we can move on to bigger and better things. There was a really big New Year's Day and after New Year's Day festival that was put on here, and I'm no stranger to
I'm grunting in pain.
making bad choices, but you know, Carlos and I took a drive to Fort Worth to go see Maddie's open mic, and to be honest with you, that was probably the best part. Was me and Carlos getting to spend time after a really tough New Year's Day that he had
It was
here.
a really good talk.
Yeah, and that to me was very meaningful, and you were so remorseful.
Same. Yeah.
I mean, you were just like, "What do I do? What do I do to make it up to everybody?" And I mean, you just the whole time you were like, "How do I make this up? How do I make this up?" And what
Yeah.
did I say?
You were like, well, on number 9, why don't you start off with I guess, like you say, getting the elephant out of the room and making my apologies, I guess,
Yeah, but also, what is
and
the solution?
is getting myself better and
Yeah.
yeah, just focusing on myself, and I guess you'll see that like I don't have to say things, but basically show
Yep.
you show you the old Carlos, I guess, the one that used to know, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess we'll get into that later because
Yeah.
it'll inevitably come up in my story for sure.
Yeah. So he made bad choices on New Year's Day, and it affected a lot of people. And he was just
And
asking me, "What can he do?" And I said, "Get better."
yeah, and yeah, I just want to say, I think that's my camera. To everyone that was there, it's been a week. It's felt like a year. I feel horrible. Um, Tremendous thank you to Heido and Logan for coming out to helping out and holding it down as best they could. Um, I Travis, if you're watching, maybe you haven't read it yet because I sent you a message through my personal Instagram, not through OPP or Tiny Stage. But I sent you a very long message that I pretty much like lay it all out for you. I'm not going to do it on YouTube. But people that know me know, probably. Um, but yeah, lately things have been, people see me here. I'm bubbly. I'm happy. Like I'm the host of the Tiny Stage, right? And sometimes, behind the scenes things aren't so great, you know. And I don't want to make excuses for things, but lately some things have happened that I've made excuses for. Honestly, that's what it really is. I just made an excuse. But let it get out of hand, I guess. And I'm hoping maybe that if me talking about it like this, maybe if there's anyone else out there that might
Yep.
be going through something like that, maybe it helps. And yeah, if you ever want to reach out to me, for sure, I can give you some good advice. I guess maybe later, not for
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was really looking forward to that day. I was super excited about it. It was an awesome Tiny Talk with Travis before. Invited the names. Why like
Yeah.
you're ever like in the shower and you're just like the things that happened like cringe is not the right word. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking about the people that were there, and I'm like, like it's really awful to think about. But you know, the shame that I'm feeling is actually pretty good. I think because
Power.
it's keeping me good. It's keeping me right.
Yeah.
And talking to you, Jana, was really something that I probably won't forget. Because I don't talk to people like that anyway. But we had like a good hour talk because that's how long it took to get there. But it's really kept me on a good path. And I don't know. You gave me permission to kind of mess up, and you kept saying, "Stop kicking yourself. Stop kicking yourself. No one's thinking about you today." You know what I mean? That felt so good. You have no idea that was like the first inkling of it lasted 2 seconds, but I was like, "Huh." He's like, "No one's thinking about you." I was like, "Yeah, whatever." I was like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I feel really awful, and I, for whatever it's worth, I know it's just words, but that will never happen again. In fact, I'm gonna do a lot to make this show a lot better, and more consistent. You watch, you're gonna see the actual Carlos.
Well, I don't know how much better
Pretty
it can
soon.
get, but
But yeah,
I mean,
but
if there was things that were, it was just alcohol. You know what I mean? It wasn't anything more than that.
No.
It almost looked like it could be more than that because,
that's how bad it was.
because you were just looking straight through us, and I think what was also kind of
I was
interesting
super nervous that day too. And I'm a nervous person anyway. That's why most of you, if you talk to me more than 5 minutes, and you'll see probably during the show that I stutter, because I'm a nervous person anyway. And the names, I had to name drop one that I'm super feel awful about is Claire Hinkle, and Rem Riley, um, Sarah Hanks.
yeah,
They came from far.
yeah,
And I made it. I hyped it up so much. Yeah, don't get me. I'm
Yeah.
gonna start spiraling.
yeah. Well, I
Um,
mean, I think you were on when we were having our chat. All you could think about is what can you do for everybody else? What can you do for everybody else?
Offer whatever services or anything.
Whatever.
Yeah.
What can I do for them? For them? For them? And I said, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Get clean.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Get clean. That's gonna make everything all right. Because yes, I made bad choices on New Year's, but I did something about it, and I do truly know and believe that the community gives you strength to stay clean and to not let that get out of hand. And I'm no if there's articles written about me. I'm no stranger to any kind of addiction, and so I appreciate supporting you, and we're going to do it with the strength of the community. And if for some reason we need a little bit more strength, then we'll take the next step. But you are supported and you are loved.
Honestly, that's been the one thing that's been different. So this is kind of my second time doing this, right? Like stopping,
Okay.
And the first time was I was alone, and I say not because nobody wanted to help me. I was just kept it all inside. You know what I mean? I didn't reach out. If I did, for sure they would. You know what I mean?
Well, you kept all this inside, and it just so
right.
happened to blow up.
That's how I'm used to
Right,
dealing
which
with
I'm
shit,
so
you know what I
grateful
mean?
that it did happen,
But
so that you could do this.
The big difference now is that I'm thinking about. I'm like, oh my god, yeah, I have this big community now. Like I was thinking about my birthday show, those 2 nights. I was like, my god, I was like, and then I know some of your stories, and you guys can relate too. I think so. I could reach out to some people, and I had to name drop Keyshawn Taylor because he always reaches out to me and always offers me his help too. So I'm sorry, but I'm gonna probably bother you too, and Adrian as well. But yeah, I've been super supportive. So just kind of thinking that I have so many people behind my back.
Yep.
Yeah, it's I'm not worried, so don't worry about me.
Yep.
I'm not worried. But that's what happened, and yeah, I'm really sorry, and like I said, those are just words, but you'll see.
Yeah. Well,
We'll
your
see.
actions already this week have really showed it, and for those of you that aren't really used to addiction, in the very beginning there is a pink cloud because we're proud of ourselves for going 5 days without whatever it is, but it was just alcohol, just so y'all all know. Because there was actually some young ones here that has never seen anything like that. So, and they were really worried about you. So the great thing about it is he's done something about it, and now we get to just move on. I just told him, hey, if someone asks about January, we say, hey, go watch the Tiny Talk #9. The first 10 minutes is an apology to
And
you.
if there's anything that I can do to make it up to anybody there, like if you want me to go to a show and do pictures or whatever the hell, I'll do it for free. I'll pay you, all right?
Right. Well, like I said, the only thing we want is for
I know,
you to
I know,
take
but
care of
still.
yourself. Take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So, let's move on.
All right,
Let's get to the fun stuff. So,
Let's get to the fun stuff.
yeah, I mean, I think that, I mean, you were just like, how can I just apologize? And so this was just a good way to do it in a mass way, right? So, all right, but no, so this is the part that I have to like learn how to do a podcast.
See, it's
So
not easy, is it?
you make it look easy. It is easy for you. So, I think when I think about you, I'm first of all, I'm blown away at all the things that you can do. I think I've even told you, like, Carlos, like on Monday you have this, and on Tuesday you have that, and now you're trying this, and now you're trying that, and you just always go for it, and then whatever sticks, you keep going, and then before you know it, you were doing Tiny Talks, and I was like, no fucking shit. Like now he's doing Tiny Talks, but then I was like, I want to be on a Tiny Talk. Like I think it's cool to get to know us in a deeper level. I'm definitely a deeper person, so.
It's really born out of because sometimes after shows I'll sit down and talk with the artist, and this what happens.
Yeah.
I get their story and I'm like, oh, and now we have maybe not a friendship, but like I appreciate their music so much different because I know their whole story. So I'm like,
Yep.
everyone has to hear this kind of stuff, not just
Yeah.
friends.
So tell us,
know?
give us a little elevator pitch of your story.
Whew. Elevator pitch.
Yeah, who is Carlos?
After I just
Nah, that's already over.
I'm I guess you would. I hate. It sounds like I'm tooting my own horn, but I do have a servant's heart. That's something that
Yeah.
that's just been the most obvious thing in my whole entire life. Like even when I was little, as most of you know, my passion growing up was soccer. I started playing super early, and I'd be practicing in the backyard in Jersey. I had a huge backyard, and my neighbors were a little bit younger, but they were kind of interested in playing soccer too because they would see me doing all these cool tricks and whatever the hell. And I remember trying to teach them how to just pass the ball straight, and they did it after just 10, 15 minutes, and I was like, wow, I just taught like a couple little kids that, like 7-year-olds how to like pass the ball straight. I was like, wow. And then this, the boy, there's a move called the bicycle kick.
Okay.
If you can picture it, it's like the ball's in the air and you're trying to kick it behind you, but there's no right angle, so you have to like jump in the air and kind of like bicycle your feet and kick it backwards. It's a tough move, right? But I taught a 5-year-old how to do that. And I was like, holy crap! So like maybe I have a knack for this teaching thing, and I've always been that way because there's some kind of like I don't know. I feel some kind of what's the word? Not benefit. Payoff. Satisfaction. Thank you. From that. And I think it's my upbringing too. Like, my father was the most generous person you'll ever meet. Maybe not like not so bubbly of a person, whatever, but like you needed something, he got you. You know what I mean? And my mother the same way, So it's a product of my upbringing where it's almost like if you didn't do that, you were an asshole,
Yeah.
like if you didn't hold the door open, you were an ass. Like my father. So a little background. My mother is from Colombia. My father is from Chile. My father escaped Chile during the Pinochet regime at 16 and was very illegal in New York, like literally running up trees to hide from. It was called the INS back then.
Now it's ISIS.
La migra. Yeah, now it's ICE. I know. And long story short, for him, he was 16 with his stepsister from Chile, living in New York. Kind of snuck his way to college because he couldn't afford it, but some teachers would let him sit in, here and there. Somehow got his way through electrician schools. Like he used to he built a lamp from scratch, and like even later on, once computers came out, he can like build a whole computer and everything. But he somehow, long story short, ended up the vice president of treasury for Banco Santander in Manhattan. Like this huge success story. If you ask him, he would never tell you that. He would never say that was any kind of success for some odd reason. That's probably why some of the things happen, or why I am the way I am a little bit. But he might not have spoken those words, but his actions were always really generous, and the gratification that I saw, and I felt it too, because if I need something, I'm like, oh man, like, so feeling like giving, having someone else feel that kind of gratification for me felt so awesome, and that's probably where it came from, is from my upbringing like that. And also, I grew up on Rocky and like Disney, so that probably shaped it a little bit. Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah, all the Rockies, and I love Part 5. I don't care what the hell you say. Part 5 is awesome.
Right. Were your parents? Did they stay married?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, so they met in New York. Yes, they stayed married.
Nice. That's good.
I think before my father died in 21, I think they were approaching 50 years.
Oh, that's
I
beautiful.
think, yeah, they were married in the 70s. I'm not the math. He died in 21. But yeah, stayed married. I don't want to talk. They're probably gonna watch this, but
Your dad?
no, he's always watching.
No, I know, and I want to get to that here
Yeah.
in a minute because I know there's lots of cool little
Oh yeah, there's signs. Yeah. Even right now.
So
still,
we said they're
yeah.
gonna watch it, meaning your family, your sister.
Yeah,
your-
but yeah, they stay together. But I wouldn't say it was like, oh, we were like Leave It to Beaver family. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
but
marriage is hard.
but it was solid. Like
Cool.
no matter what was happening, we had our we still have our backs. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's where I learned loyalty.
Yeah.
That's why I'm loyal to
Mm-hmm.
well, to a point, because I did grow up and learn some lessons. Because you
Yeah.
do get screwed sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially me, when you have a servant's heart like that. That's why I say I have a servant's heart to my own detriment sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I guess, did you want to learn like you just want to keep going, like just kind
Well,
of just
I
tell
mean,
my story? Or?
yeah. I mean, it's really clear that you have a servant's heart, and I think that's what makes the Tiny Stage so special. That's what makes the Love Mic so special, and that's what makes Creatives Factory so
Yeah.
special, is because we do have that in us, and so that's why it's a beautiful community that we all have together. And it's
And I'll tell you a big reason why, I don't know why I just didn't think of it. Why I'm like this is my work in libraries. I've been my first job was working retail, whatever, in a pizza shop. But once I started working for libraries, I really liked it because the people think, oh, what are you doing in libraries? Just read it's not. I can put it in a general sense. What you do in a library is you help people. That's all it is. Because people go there with questions, and you have to if you don't have the answer, show them where to find the answer. You know what I mean? And that was my job for a long time. And you can't do that job for a long time without a servant's heart. And you do a lot of good training through the city and stuff like that. So I actually had professional training in being a servant's heart and understanding other people and conflict resolution and things like that. And also programming. So this is probably a big reason why I'm okay with this Tiny State stuff, is because a big aspect of my job with libraries was doing programs. And if you don't know what that is like if you go to the library and you see story times for kids or painting for adults or whatever, those are programs. And there is a whole team of people at most libraries, probably everyone, that are dedicated just for that, for planning it and executing it. And that's a big thing. It's not just, I have a good idea, okay, let's do it. This takes a lot of stuff. And the reason why that's important is because every year the people vote to keep your library. So a good way to do that is to put on programs, because you're showing the public what your library is doing, right? Like, for example, I always tell everybody this, but I can show you how to knit an infinity scarf, because that was one of the ideas I had. I saw a YouTube video, and I was like, I wonder if I can do it. And I figured it out. I was like, boom, we got a craft,
Nice.
That's kind of like where I got this thing about always having ideas for other kind of stuff to kind of bring people together and do something kind of different.
Yes, you do.
Is from that. And the libraries that I have worked with gave me the freedom just to kind of throw things on the wall, let it stick, whatever doesn't work, big deal,
Yeah, I
Yep.
do feel like you kind of do that here. I'm more strategic. If I do something, I want it to work.
Yeah.
And so I have to think about, if I can sustain it. And I've noticed that you'll just throw a quote unquote program out there. And to be honest with you, I don't even know. I know there's some that maybe didn't take off, but I don't remember any of them. That doesn't really matter.
We tried a guitar circle a couple times that didn't really take off. I might try it again when the weather is nicer.
Yeah.
And that we're a little more popular now because we're nominated.
You are now. Congratulations.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah. For the non-traditional
and-
venue.
Yes. And
Yeah,
all
that's
the
cool.
other Love Mike family and all of our community, which
Man.
we're gonna show up that night. Woo!
Man, it was so cool to see so many people in the community
Yeah.
be nominated. Way more this year than last year, and congratulations on everybody, and even the people that may not have been nominated. Y'all are still winners too.
Yeah.
Like there's so much
You're all
great.
Love Mike, you know.
Yeah, there's so much great talent out there, and as far as the Love Mike being like the best in Dallas, like I've already won.
Yeah.
Like it's. I actually called Carlos that day, just kind of crying, like how do I even receive this recognition?
Yeah.
And so that's something that I personally have to learn is how to receive. So. So I mean, all the stuff you do for everybody, like how are you in receiving, like are you good at receiving the gratitude that people give to you, or?
That's a good question. I'm uncomfortable sometimes, you know, like especially on like here at the shows when they say thank you, Carlos, for having me, and I'm like, because I didn't, like I'm like it's not just me, like there's a whole team of people behind me. Like, there's people in the store. Without them, this thing doesn't work. You know what I mean? Like, literally, we wouldn't be able to have a stage if that store is not operating. You know what I mean? If Heido wasn't here, the sound wouldn't sound the way it sounds. You know?
Yeah.
A lot of things. You know? So, like, I don't know. That's probably from my background in soccer and, like, having and like being a captain sometimes of teams. So, like, where you have to, like, it's not about me kind of thing. And like, if it is about you, you're the asshole on the team, and nobody likes you. You know what I mean? I mean, I appreciate it. I mean, I really appreciate it. Like my birthday show, I'm whenever my last breath, like my last memory or my last thoughts are probably going to be about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I really like it, but yeah, sometimes it's a bit uncomfortable. Maybe because like I said, like. They see me because like I'm I guess the face of the tiny stage, but I'm like there's so many things behind it though. You know what I mean? So
I know what you mean. Without the Spirit Committee and you and everybody else, I mean you're the one that got us on YouTube, right? I'm over here trying to figure out how to get Wi-Fi in a basement.
Oh, that's gonna be
yeah. So I think we're figuring out how to get that so that we can.
I don't want to think about it right now.
Well, because we got Zach. You know, Zach's in PA. You know, he can't wait. He said I can't wait to see you on Monday.
Yeah.
So we're gonna make that happen.
We'll figure it out.
So I think let's talk about how was the tiny stage discovered, like
how it started.
Yeah, tell us that story.
Oh,
I've heard it.
I should get my guitar and do my riff. No,
I've heard it, but like as far as like Chris and I know you always are really good at giving like props to him for what
Mr.
he's
Johnny
done.
Appleweed,
Man, that man and his family and he is just. I mean, to just. Like one of his mottos is give more than you get.
Be a 51% giver.
Yeah,
it's the concept of just give 51% of yourself in service to others, and you create light that can be squared.
Yep. Well,
is the motto.
I loved it because I feel like I do, right? And so
and you see it happen. Like that's the thing is that you can watch it. You know.
Yeah, I think that's why the community is so extremely strong.
Yeah.
So give us the background on that.
So the background to the tiny stage.
How'd you meet Chris?
Yeah, that's where it would start, I guess. So, as I mentioned before, this is my second time around getting on the good road. The first time, I was So my last library gig was at the downtown Dallas Library. At times, I would have to call it the ambulance on fentanyl overdoses, right? And that was scary because they were laced in, hemp. And I used hemp to wean myself off of alcohol. It was very useful.
Cali sober.
Say what you say, but it's really helpful.
Absolutely.
Like, where like, I mean, I'm not saying like you smoke all day or whatever, but like it's like when you have the urge instead of drinking, you take a puff and you're good to go.
Yep.
And then you're back on track, And I wanted to do that because I'm before Dallas, I was from Denton. And if anyone is from around Denton or knows Denton, you could throw a rock and you find good stuff.
Yeah.
But here I didn't know anybody. So I heard about this THCA stuff, this legal stuff. So there's a few places around here. So I started going around checking them out. And they were okay. I thought maybe overpriced, but they weren't very nice. It wasn't very warm. Then I literally stumbled onto this one because my sister kind of lives nearby. And I was like, oh, look at that. There's one kind of down the street. And I went in here, and it was really cool. The two people working behind the counter, and there was only two back then. There's like 5 or 6 now. They were also soccer heads like me. So I was like, oh, my God, I found my people.
Yeah.
And, like, and they so so we became fast friends. And this one day, there's this big game coming on, and I see them funfering with this old projector. And I'm like, what are you guys doing with that? They're like, oh, we're going to show the game. And the game was at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and their projector, I have a pretty nice one. I know a little bit about it. And I was like, sorry, guys, but that thing's not going to work because it's not bright enough. That thing needs to be like in a pitch black room for anything. So they're like, oh, crap. I was like, but I have one. Let me bring it out, and maybe we can do something. I brought it out. It was awesome. I had my screen out here. So I was like, this was pretty cool. And it was like a good like 10 of us watching the game. You know, it was a nice vibe out here.
Mm-hmm.
Because I asked him, I was like, what do you guys do out here? It's a really nice patio.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't been here, the Be Hippie has a nice patio right in the front. 'Cause it's an old gas station. So it's got seating and everything. And they're like, well, we could enjoy the flower out here. I'm like, yeah, but what else? They're like, no, nothing, you know, because, you know, it sells itself. We don't have to, like, bring people here. So I was like, well, this thing was pretty cool. Why don't you let me bring out the projector and we'll have, like, a movie night or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
bring the PS3 out. We'll play some video games. They're like, sure, if you want to. I'll do it for free. And that was part of my, at that time, this is how OP Promotions was born. At that time, it was called OP Promotions, not Productions.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that point also, I had finished my library career.
Am I still in there? Am I right?
No, you're good. I'm on camera, so
Okay, good. I
You're
just
fine.
want to stand up.
okay. You might have to adjust that camera facing you. Just kind of tilt it up a little bit. Like, see, there's like a handle right behind it. There, you got it. And then, yep,
Yep. All right. Cool.
boom, nice.
Okay. Good.
Framing up your own shot. So yeah, so I had left. I had finished my library career. So I wanted to get into marketing. And the reason why was, I guess we'll get into that inevitably, but my experience with FC Denton, the first semi-pro soccer team in Denton, I ran that by myself, and a lot of it was marketing. And I grew that thing by myself to the point where there was one time this team called Brazos Valley Cavalry from Brazos Valley near Austin, a second division professional team. They're like a sort of minor league team for a pro team in Houston. And somehow they heard about us and invited us from Denton to go down there and play their team, like red carpet. They had free hotels. It was everything. I was like, what? I was like, how'd you hear about us? They're like, we saw you online and you guys look legit. I was like, thank you. I was like, gonna say, like, we're kind of a Sunday team, but all right, whatever. But said, I was like, maybe I have a knack for this kind of thing. So after and all throughout working for libraries, I was like, oh, I want to get into marketing so bad, but I'm stuck here, you know. So after that, I was like, yeah, all right, I'm going to call it OP Promotions. And the reason why it's called OP2, by the way, it's called, the OP stands for Olate Power. My last name's Olate. Olate Power is a sort of inside joke in my family, started by my father. He was famous. He messes, and this will be relevant later. He has something with electricity. If he's in a room, or the famous thing was that we're at a supermarket and we're online, and he would call it. He'd be like, watch, this register's going to break. And then we're waiting, and then sure enough, the light starts blinking, and then people start fumbling around with the cash register, and then, you know, we're like, man, it's your fault because, you know, you made it happen. But if anything kind of wrong happens, or like if you're on the highway and then like traffic's going fine, and somebody gets in front of you and slows down, you're like, that's Olate Power. Or like, you know, basically bad luck things, right?
Yeah.
Olate Power. But the funny thing with me and my family is that I had the opposite Olate Power. Like, I had the lucky stuff happen to me. Like, for example, I started working here and the owner decided to build a stage. Lucky.
Yeah.
A great story that I always tell people with me and my sister, like, it happened real time. We're telling him, I had the good Olate Power. She has the bad one because he's pessimistic and I'm always optimistic. That's how I always said it. I'm like, the reason why it happens to you is because you're expecting it. I don't. We're at Cold Stone Brewery. She orders a large. I order a small. They accidentally give her the small and give me the large. She has to go back in line and get it fixed. And they're like, oh, no, you keep it. I'm like, oh, cool. So I just got a large for the price of a small. Olate Power.
Yeah.
So I called it Olate Power Promotions, OP Promotions.
Oh, cool.
So I told them that I would do these things for free, but if you would let me kind of advertise it as OP Promotions Presents Movie Night at Be Hippie kind of thing. And they were cool because, yeah, for free, sure, go for it. And was doing that for a while. We had some trivia nights. You know, it was kind of popping off. We had a couple karaoke nights. It was nice. Well, before the karaoke, Chris, the owner, was like, you know what, this is going really great. You're bringing people in. It's kind of giving us a kind of different rep, too. So, shoot, you kind of created your own job. Way to go. So I kind of became like the event coordinator, but he also let me work the social media. And at that time, mess with the website, too, because at that time, it was really bare. So I was like, oh, cool. So, I came part of the crew. But, so at that point, it was all right. So every week was all right, a movie night or this or that. It was really throwing things on the wall and just trying to come up with ideas. And then, yeah, we had karaoke a few times, and that was a big hit too. Um, and then, what was it? It was that fateful day, August 6th. That was a Monday, August 6th, 2024. Because at that point, if Chris, and still to this day, if Chris has an idea for an event, he can text me whenever, any time of day or night, and say, I want to do this. Can we do it? That morning, it was like 4 or 5 it was early in the morning. Um, August 8th is Lionsgate. I want to have a whole day live music, food. Let's do it. And at that time, I'm working with my colleague Manny Lopez, who is responsible for bringing the karaoke here. We were kind of like, hey, let's freaking figure it. That became our motto. Let's figure it out. And so we kind of put our heads together, and through his karaoke, he knew this awesome singer named Megan McCurby. I'm hoping I'm getting the name right. I'm famous for butchering, so I'm sorry, but a beautiful singer. And through my buddies over here, one of them knows Christian from the Kratos Factory. And I have only met him once, and I have heard that he was in music. I didn't know he was a producer the way he is. So I was like, hey, can I get his number? So I hit him up, and I was like, hey, we have this show. I don't know if we can pay them, maybe, but it's a stage, it's some exposure. Can you help? And he's like, yeah, I got you. So he sent us H.D. Kennedy, Dylan Noir, Solitary Witch, and I think there was another one that I'm forgetting.
Was it JM?
No, I don't think he was at August 8th. He was there for the first open mic. He was my first feature, or I think the very first featured artist.
Cool.
But yeah, so long story short, Lionsgate was a hit. Solitary Witch was the headliner only because that's when she was available, but it was the best headliner possible because if you don't know Solitary Witch, he's a singer-songwriter, plays a guitar, but also with her feet plays this kind of drum machine that looks like a suitcase, like with a nice painting that's kind of facing you. Really really unique, awesome voice. So Chris is sitting there, and he's like, "Oh my God, like this was awesome, especially seeing that headliner." He's like, "We got to do this again." So I was like, "Well, when I was working at a library, sometimes I would do an open mic, which was kind of weird because you wouldn't expect an open mic at a library." But I was like, "Let me see if we can pull that off here." And since we have some artists over here, just like my experience in soccer, when you find one good player, they probably know another good player, and they know another one. So I asked them if they knew anybody else, and they knew some people. So I was like, all right, open mic, Friday and Saturday. But I had 3 featured artists for each night because I was really scared about having an open mic with no artist. Because it's the first time we're doing it, and we're in downtown Garland. We're not exactly known for the live music scene, And yeah, so our first 3 was J.M. Solis, Damien Rice, Archive, who we met on August 8th, who was watching Solitary Witch in the audience. Solitary Witch calls him up, and they do a freestyle that was freaking amazing. And then I fell in love with Archive ever since. That's awesome. And then the second night, I think it was Mia Potter, Medizi, and I always forget the freaking last one. I'll probably remember it later. But the open mics happened, and it was a hit. And after that, Chris was like, "All right, this is gonna be this is gonna be a music venue." And this hive that we're sitting in was parked behind the store. The stage that we're on now was not here, obviously. It was just a platform of turf. The stage that we had for August 8th was literally my projector screen frame with some twinkly lights around it, and there's a couple of speakers. That was the stage. But as everyone has said then, and they still say to this day, that the thing that was really cool is that there's a vibe here. You don't know what you might be playing for one person or 20, but there's a special vibe here, So what was it like mid-September of 24? Chris comes out here with a miter saw and a bunch of wood, and in less than 10 days builds the tiny stage, the marquee that's there, moves this hive over to the front. Him and his stepfather rewire this whole thing to be a whole studio, and it's a running stage. You guys know, it sounds just like any other kind of venue, I think. And yeah, like it's popped up. And what was really crazy, I just missed the whole point of Lionsgate, right? So Lionsgate, he tells me that on August 6th, and I'm like, oh, and part of my job was making the flyers too, right, for the events. But I don't make flyers like just willy nilly. I have to. They have to mean
Oh, no,
something.
we definitely know. Do
So
a
I'm
great
like,
job.
well, so I'm like, what the hell is Lionsgate? Because how am I make the flyer if I don't know what it is? And so those of you who don't know, Lionsgate is an astrological event that happens on. It's at the peak on August 8th, where the sun rises in line with the constellation Leo and the star Sirius, and opens up a portal of manifestation. And that's how Chris kind of described it that day, was that we're going to open up a portal of manifestation. I'm not sure what, but we're going to use music because that's the language of the universe kind of thing, you know? If you ever spend 5 minutes with Chris, you'll hear what I'm talking about. I say he's in the fourth dimension trying to pull us all up, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So, and what was kind of crazy, that literally happened. Like, from that day, within a month, we had the tiny stage and open mics. It wasn't regular though. It was like, once and like maybe every couple of weeks or once a month, because we didn't have that kind of, because once we had that, it would be like me and Manny going on Instagram, just like local artists, and messaging each one, hey, can you come out? We can't afford to pay you, but at that point, the big draw was that we can give you a free multi-track recording of your set that we had from the beginning. So that was a nice draw, I guess, for people. And slowly it snowballed and snowballed and snowballed until, now we have the kind of community that we have. Oh, and the tiny stage sessions. So the open mics started to become more regular. And then in talking with the artist, I found out how difficult it is to be to get on stage. And like some of them would say that some venues would tell you to pay them to get on stage. And I was like, oh, wow. So I was like, we should have a concert series then, So I talked to Chris. He was like, yeah, let's freaking, like he always says when I have an idea, he goes, go for it, So I was like, all right, so what do I call this thing? And I'm like, I like the BBC sessions, that little show. And, sessions kind of is a double entendre with what we do here, ha, 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 So I was like, I want to call it something sessions, And I wanted to have, since the open mic was the catalyst for it, I wanted to have a different name for open mic. So the tiny stage sessions were 5 minutes away from being called the free note sessions, because free note supposedly is like another way of saying open mic or something like that, or that we're giving away free notes, because the whole purpose of this is that we're giving away things, So I text Chris, hey man, the free note sessions. He goes, I hate it. I was like, okay. And then he goes, I want like a tiny desk vibe. And I was like, well, duh. You converted your tiny house into a tiny studio. You built a tiny stage. The tiniest day sessions, boom, boom, boom. It was a 10-minute conversation, boom, boom. The logo came way after. And just a little funny thing about the logo, I should have had the shirt. But if you look at, actually, you can see it on screen. If you zoom in, maybe. If you see how the T is elongated, right? There's a small wheel on the bottom. That's an ode to our marquee. When you're back, if you haven't noticed it, look at the bottom of the marquee. It's on two little wheels. The reason why is because when Chris was building the stage, he wanted to build a marquee because it's at a really nice spot on the corner of 7th and Main, and traffic and whatnot. But you needed a permit to have that kind of thing. But if it's on wheels, it's not really a wall. So he put it on wheels, secured it really nice, no permit needed, good to go. Which is because we live in the gray area, right? We're a hemp dispensary.
Yes.
So yeah, that was really cool. So that's the reason why the DT is elongated with the little wheel.
Did you
if
make
anybody.
the logo?
Yes.
Great job.
I was sitting in front of the stage on the couch that's there that people know, and I'm looking at the stage because I wanted to make a logo really bad, but I'm like, what do I do? I couldn't think of anything. But I'm staring at the stage, and the thing that keeps popping out is the silhouette of the whole studio and the stage. Like it was just kept popping out, and I was like, let me just draw a simple little thing, and yeah, it kind of came out like that, and I was like, I like that.
Yeah, no, that's great.
So if you look at the Tiny Stage logo, or the Tiny Talk or Tiny Stage Sessions logo, it's like you're looking at the stage.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. It's great.
Yeah, so that's basically how it started, and then how it's been going. Like, it's been snowballing, and then people, and then obviously meeting you on almost 1 year ago on your 50th birthday. Freaking set it all off. And what was really cool about your birthday was that at that point we had a few open mics, because we started in September, so that was January. So we had a couple of months under our belt. And when I went to the Sundown for the first time, I was like, I'm not gonna know anybody, but I was like, oh, hey, AC. I was like, oh shoot. I was like, oh my God, I know people. I was like, how cool. And then yeah, the relationship that kind of popped out from that has been amazing, and that's been sustaining the Tiny State since. Really, that's why I say you're our greatest friend ever.
Yeah, I
You know?
mean, it's more ways to showcase the artist is really it matters, and
And even other artists that are not loved by people notice it because of you. You know what I mean?
hmm
Yeah.
yeah, it's beautiful, and I appreciate the partnership and the love that we share together. It's strong. I mean, there's enough for everybody, and I just personally love being like the stage where people are like scared shitless and they come to the Love Mic, they get their confidence, and then
Oh yeah.
they have their first show here. You know,
Yeah.
like it's kind of it's I just love being the safest place for people to launch, and watching like Dorian Marsh walk in like literally shaking before getting on stage, and now he's opening up the Pony and Denton
Yeah.
singer songwriter venue, and he calls me Auntie. So those are the things that I really love. So as we're kind of approaching, I do want to talk about your birthday.
The birthday show. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good
Greatest
refle- that's
greatest
a,
2 nights of my life, I think.
yeah, and it's a good reflection of the community giving back to you because you pour so much into all of us, and so that's what made me really want to give back to you because, I mean, I also I give a lot too, and so it's just in my soul to do it and to make people
Yeah.
the people that are important to me like feel special. So
Where does that come from? I mean, I know we kind of got
Um,
into it in your time talking like your experience with trauma and everything, but
yeah, serving heart.
because I don't know if you actually answered the question that I had, because I was asking you something similar to that I asked to other artists about how like there was like for some artists like John today said how it was Under the Bridge by
Mhm.
Red Hot Chili Peppers. That was the aha for him playing the guitar. He's like, I can do this.
Mhm.
And how with your story there you could have really literally went left or right.
Yeah.
And I was like, what was that moment where you were like, I'm going right and not left kind of thing?
I don't really know, but I know that like my mom took in all kinds of people. If there was somebody at school that got kicked out,
Yeah.
they were coming to our house, male or female, it didn't
Yeah.
matter. So my mom also had a very serving heart. She was a nurse, so I think I just
The
learned
example.
I
Yeah.
learned that from her. So yeah, so and then for me, it's like I don't think too hard about it. I think my spirit just tells me like how to move, and I've been learning a lot more about God through like Kayla, and I've had people my entire life, want to introduce me to that.
Yeah, since
Um,
since being involved with the Love My Community, if anyone knows me, they're like, this guy was so far away from God, it's not even funny. But hey guys, guess what? I'm kind of close.
I'm getting
I'm kind of close. I don't know.
getting closer. Yeah,
Thanks to a lot of people. Like I say,
like Keyshawn.
I'm gonna name drop
Kayla,
Keyshawn,
yeah.
Kayla. I'm gonna say Fantasy also. People will probably laugh, but I would say
know.
Fantasy.
I love.
People don't know Fantasy Verse. It has a heart in him.
Oh, yes.
Ask him to do poetry sometime for you.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when it came to Carlos, I mean, it's I'm not used to like.
And
That's
Adrian
why.
Tripp as well too. I want to say.
Yeah, I like to combine my birthday with other things so that it's, I've never really had someone like throw me a party, right, or anything like that. So I remember your birthday was coming up, and I was like, well, let me share that it's your birthday, and let me, so that you're not having to say, hey guys, it's my birthday, and so just that
Yeah.
day.
How's it? Come promote the DFW covers others.
Yeah. So I remember the day of I got up. I remember, man, I actually remember I felt like shit that day, and I didn't want to get up.
Mm.
And my neighbor Kelly that came
Mhm.
with me, who's no longer with us, she passed away.
Sorry.
We just kind of drove around. We actually went and bought this homeless girl some pants that day, and then I was like, let's go to Five and Under. And then I found like that badass like big happy birthday thing.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh my God, they sell balloons here. Oh, there's red hearts. So it's like I just think it's beautiful when I do choose.
Some of your disco balls are still here.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
I got my balls all
it's
around.
Kuzo's fault. It's Kuzo's fault that I have a lot of
I had a bag of balls that somehow did not end up a bag of balls.
It was
but
we had a little fun with Kuzo.
yeah.
Playing a little basketball.
with mirrored balls. Okay, that's a great ball.
He had a nice gash in his hand from
I
that,
would-
by the way.
They're mirror.
Yeah. I think he learned a lesson.
So yeah, and then it just like I said, it's like I don't even have to try too hard because then Spirit just said like, let's come up with a word
Oh,
like
that was
we
the
don't
craziest.
we don't want to like get everybody like what's a sit. Let's talk about Carlos. Like we got to keep the show moving. So my Spirit just
ever
said
the host.
my Spirit was just like, oh, let's come up with one word that you think of when you think of Carlos, and then I kept track of all the words, and then I ended up dropping it in chat, and it made a poem.
Carlisi.
It was great. Yeah. So we had 2 days.
The well, how do you say that word?
Oh man, I forgot even who said that, but yeah.
I think it was Old Man Genie gave me that name or that word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and we wouldn't take any word that was already given. So, maybe he'll publish that poem.
And let me tell you what was freaking amazing about that night too is that off in the corner was my mom, my sister, my 84-year-old Colombian mother, my sister, and my I think she was 4 at the time, 4 or 5-year-old niece.
So cute.
And that was really special because they're never here because they're busy, you know. But I told them, you know, come out for this show. Like, I want you to see what I'm talking about all the time. You know what I mean? Because they don't understand. You know, this is so new to them. Like live music, like it's so embarrassing. Like my cousin Felipe, I'm so sorry, but like I don't know what game's happening this weekend. You know what I mean? And anyone that knows me would be like, what in the hell is wrong with them? You know what I mean? But I asked them to come out, and they were here and saw all that. And oh my God, my mom was like, "Oh my God!" She's like, "These people, like, I had no idea." She's like, kind of like, I kind of get it now. You know what I mean?
Like why you spend so much time working on all this?
And you know, not for nothing, not making any money at it.
Mm-hmm.
Or you know, I'm not like my mother standard where you need insurance and this and that, you know, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
Well,
Productions, damn it.
Well, you know, the Dallas, they have insurance for $65.
Oh yeah, that's right. Shoot.
And you can get 5
That's all
people.
I need.
5 people so everybody pays $15.
Mm.
So I can get it, you can get it,
I'm in.
you know, and so if we get 5 people, we're all just paying $15 for insurance. That's an amazing thing that the Dallas Sounds and the Dallas Music Department has done.
Well, I wish I had their tag, but yeah.
Oh man, they've really
And that's the city
Christina
of Dallas,
and
right?
John, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's cool that like they've only been around like 2 years.
Yeah.
We're at the beginning of Dallas actually getting put it on the map. So anyway, love to plug them, love all of that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But
so
yeah, that was amazing for them to see that.
How did your birthday make you feel?
Like I told you, like I'm not lying. That probably like, you know, my last thoughts will probably come back to it because like I've really honestly never felt that much love before. Like again, I say it's not that my family was very loving, but my God, I mean, I counted. I was like 50 words, something like that. I was like, that's how many freaking artists came out here, like. And like I'm hurting right now because I'm thinking about fucking last week, like, you know.
All right,
But
well, stop hurting.
I know, but
we were supposed to leave that.
I know, but it just makes me feel good. But no, it was like literally the greatest 2 nights of my life. Like I'm trying to think of like greater nights, and it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not greater, they're like right next to it. But it's hard to top that. And I've never had that many people be so thoughtful towards me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was weird too. You know, like it was uncomfortable at times also because I was like, oh, everyone's saying a word for me, and then and it wasn't just a word. They explained why that was that word too. So it was like, oh my God.
Yeah, a lot of selfless, a lot of great words.
Yeah, you guys really, everyone that was there, everyone that wasn't there, forever touched me, and it's what's gonna keep keep me good.
Yeah, it's lovely.
I think.
So as we kind of start to wrap up, what do you want us to know? Other than the first.
That I have never forgotten FC Denton. If anybody from FC Denton's watching this, I miss you guys. I love you guys. It sucked that I had to end the way it did. big ups to Richie for doing North Texas Legends, keeping that going. I say that because I started the first semi-pro soccer team in Denton. At that time, there was no team for players to kind of aspire to that would help them like be a springboard. That's why it's kind of very similar to the stuff I'm doing here with Tiny Stage and with the artists is that I did it with soccer players.
Yep.
And help them move up. You know, been a springboard team.
Now it's music players.
And now it's music. Yeah. So yeah, so that's still in my heart, and actually, I kind of want to start it up again here in Garland a little bit. Garland City FC. I'm gonna put it out there into
and
the
I'm
ether.
gonna bring you back.
Let's see. So I would love to get back into it, but no, honestly, this live music thing is so freaking amazing, and I love everyone that I've met through this stage, through the Love Mic. I mean, everyone's been so freaking. Like I text with some of you just to bullshit, you know. Like it's awesome to have this networking community around.
Well, community is a basic
And-
human need like food and water.
And yeah, and I will do anything to make it up. But yeah, one last thing
You're
about me
already
is
doing
that it's I'm very motivated, and this thing is my passion. So that's one thing that you have to know about me right now is that this is my new passion.
Yeah.
I after soccer and after especially the way it ended, it was after my father died and everything. I didn't have a passion anymore. Honestly, I didn't have anything. I was like, what am I gonna work now? That's it. You know.
Yeah.
But
What year did he pass away?
21.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
So
in
not
a
long.
really talk about a traumatic way. Want me to tell you?
I don't think that's the way we should end this.
Okay.
Yeah, but like you tell
If
everybody
anybody-
else, we can have a part 2.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be it'd be well. I don't know. Like if somebody might hear it, it helps them kind of thing. But yeah, maybe for part 2. But yeah, it was a super traumatic thing that it's hard to not to think about still to this day. But the cool thing about my father, right? That we were talking about how like there's signs that he's watching all the time. The first time I was on the good road, I would start noticing, and I'm sure people always notice this, the time, right? 111, 222, 333, right? And of course, you go on Google and those are your angel numbers, and then people are watching over you. I'm like, okay, yeah, but I was always like, what if it's the opposite? What if someone's trying to tell you to do something else? I don't know. That's the way I think. But it would always come up when I'm doing good, when I'm doing like right, like
Yeah,
I'm
you seeing some numbers right now
yes since
this week?
Monday.
Yeah, okay.
Today, freaking, I had 111 and 1111. I was like, really? But
Perfect.
why I say that's why I'm convinced that's probably my. I'm not like this. I'm not like I don't believe in angels and this and that. I didn't. Maybe I kind of do. I don't know. This is kind of just odd that when I'm doing right, when I feel good, I start seeing this kind of thing. And if there was any kind of way for anyone to communicate on the other side like that, that's the way my father would probably choose to do it because it's electronic and it's in time. And he was a big watch enthusiast. He loved watches, so he would always collect like the craziest watches. So it's kind of interesting how that's happening,
Yeah, and you saw 111 today, and
1111.
yeah, and
Yep.
then maybe here at 1111 you might
Yeah.
see that one
But
too.
I swear to God, it's never like I don't look for it. I'm just like, what time is it?
course.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
And actually, there was one point that I was actually jotting it down because it was happening so much.
Yeah.
And I stopped because it was like, shit, it's like every freaking 5 minutes. What the hell?
Well, I have
You
a
know?
feeling
Yeah.
the more you're on the road you're talking about, you'll be seeing a lot more of that. So, well, thank you so much for sharing your story. And
There's a whole lot more too, but yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
there is a whole lot more, but I've definitely encouraged him to try to keep these at an hour.
Yeah, you're right.
Just so they're digestible and easy to get a full story, and then,
Sure.
like you said, we can do a part 2. But I think some of your first ones were like 2.5 hours, right?
Delina 2.5 and Alex Nolasco was 3 hours and 3 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, and so Carlos is like, "Oh, well, you just start it and stop it," and I'm like, "Well, I mean, I understand, but like, I want to listen to a lot of y'all,
No, you're right.
and doing 3 hours of start and stop.
Although Sage from Arts Connect app did put me onto this really cool app. I'm forgetting the name right now.
Oh,
but
it takes out the
it clips it up for you.
right,
Like it takes up like the
Right, but we're
irrelevant things.
live.
Yeah.
but we're live.
No, for like later. So like you're saying to digest it, like If you're live, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so it
I'm
would
saying
be
for later, I guess.
it would be a live one, and then you would have to go drop the live
I
one
don't know.
into
Whatever.
that.
It's my show. Damn it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. All
No,
right.
but you're
well,
right. We're gonna keep it within an hour from
well,
now
I
on.
mean, I
The
want to
last
listen.
three have been like right under an
Yeah.
hour. So
I just want to listen to everybody,
Yep.
and so
Same,
that's the
yeah.
easiest way for me to do it. Is
That's why with me and Delina it was funny because I'm like, we're both talkers, so settle in. But then with me and Alex, it was 3 hours. So
I mean, maybe if I spent 3 hours cleaning my house
yeah,
and just putting that on, I could do that.
yeah,
Like kind of like I do the Diary of a CEO, like you know.
right.
But
No,
yeah.
valid.
All right, cool. Well, thank you all, and thank you, Carlos, for the opportunity
Thank
to let
you.
me. You know, I've only done one podcast thing, and that was with Jimmy, my friend Jimmy, that actually gave us the Love Mike Underground that we are launching 4-year anniversary. My birthday falls on
Monday.
and the reveal of the new location. And, you know, like they really helped me make this happen because that was my birthday falls on a Monday. Like, you know, I mean, I've been offered other things, and I was like, well, I just kind of really want to launch on Monday.
Yeah,
So it's going to be
it's
perfectly
perfect.
imperfect.
And being just nominated too, like it's everything. Like I want it's so
Yeah.
freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's a great
Yeah.
birthday. I've already won. Thank
Yep.
you so much.
Yep.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye-bye.
And thank you all for joining us. And again, my apologies, but yeah, thank you. I love you all. You know this. All right,
However that is. There we go. Hearts.
little higher.